So this video is about the most recent chapter of One Piece, which was 1030, and more specifically about how Kinemon has miraculously come back from the dead, and how everybody is so upset and angry about Oda constantly bringing back characters that are supposed to be dead. So I'm here to give you my whole take on the situation, my thoughts, and also giving you as much information as I can to help you understand Oda's perspective on what he does with his characters. Because at face value, of course, if characters are going to be shot point blank in the face with cannonballs, if they're going to be blown up point blank by bombs, if they're going to be supposedly beheaded, those characters should die. And it's especially the case when the mangaka has built up the situation to be extremely dire, extremely tense, and it leads you to believe that these characters have perished. So, understandably, when these characters supposedly come back, like say for example, a Kinemon, or a Sabo, or some other character you can insert here, understandably everybody's upset, because we are led to believe that they have died. Now, sometimes, say for example with Sabo, we can be extremely happy that those characters have come back. We can speculate that those characters are gonna come back and we want them to. But when there's characters that have made a justifiable conclusion to their arc, where what has happened in their whole story and how it is concluded with them dying was done in a justifiable way, in an effective way, say for example with Kinemon, having them just come back is a complete buzzkill, and understandably everybody is extremely upset about this. And to a certain extent, I am upset because of this constantly happening, but it was upon looking deeper into Oda's perspective on making characters that has made me come to the conclusion now that this is just how it is. And I mean, it's been the exact same way throughout his entire creation of One Piece. Now, firstly, I'd like to go and read you guys an answer that Oda made to a question in regards to killing off characters. And I believe this really just paints the full picture as to why Oda constantly keeps characters coming back that have supposedly died. So, the question that was asked was, why didn't you create a manga like some other mangakas where dead characters revive? Say for example, we have Naruto, Dragon Ball, you can insert any sort of one here, Bleach. And his answer is, revival of a human is a natural, right? And he laughs. If a mangaka ends up reviving the dead, he shouldn't have killed that character in the first place. My characters don't die if they are thrown into a desperate situation. On top of that, I have been hating the revival of dead characters ever since I was a kid. It made me doubt a mangaka. Like, the reason why this mangaka revived a certain character may be because that character was popular. I won't do that. I won't do what I doubted as a kid, and I'll do what I wanted a mangaka to do. So that clearly for me paints the picture as to why Oda brings these characters back. Now, I know that in the quote, he specifically says he does not want to be one of those mangakas that bring characters back from the dead. So then you're probably thinking, well, Kinemon was dead. These other characters were dead, or they should have been dead. So why are they back? Well, the answer is they weren't clearly stated as having died. Say for example with Ace or Whitebeard, who was clearly stated to have been dead, to have been buried. These things were painted clear as day. So when you have these other characters like Kinemon, who have been supposedly shown to have died, and everything has been amplified and played up to have died, and they come back, this just shows that Oda didn't necessarily see them as having died, so it is justified that they come back later in the story. And this doesn't go against his beliefs as a mangaka. Now, for me now, having read this quote and seeing the abundance of circumstances where characters are coming back, like Kinemon most recently, I have come to the understanding that if I don't see a character dead and buried, that character is coming back. And I'm going to go over a number of different characters that have supposedly died and come back to emphasize this point. One of the biggest ones for me, and of course for everybody else who talks about characters that should have died but didn't, was Pell in Alabasta. So this man survived a bomb at point blank range that wiped out an entire city. He lived. This character was not that important whatsoever. Sure, great character, awesome, love him, that sort of stuff is great. But this character was not at the level of, say, like one of the Straw Hats, one of the Worst Generation, one of these characters that have some more of an importance. So his death would have been absolutely justified. He did more with sacrificing himself point blank with this bomb to save Alabasta than he could have done in his entire run throughout One Piece. That ending solidified his character in the best way possible. But no, he came back from a point blank explosion from a bomb that could have wiped out the entire city of Alabasta. So understandably, that makes no sense. And that just rubs everyone the wrong way, because if a character like that can survive something as massive as a bomb that wipes out an entire city at point blank range, then how are we supposed to believe that these characters that are much, much more durable and stronger can get defeated by other means of attack or even die? It makes it hard to believe that characters could die seeing that sort of thing from a character that isn't as strong or durable as a Straw Hat or a Worst Generation character, or anyone much more important. Another one too is Bon Clay. Now, I absolutely love Bon Clay. I think Bon Clay is such a fantastic character. Absolutely awesome. And his arc, going from the very start of the series to where he was in Impel Down, and his conclusion of helping Luffy get out of Impel Down, sacrificing himself to do so, was a fantastic end to his story. Honestly, once again, solidifies the character as one of the greatest in the series from doing something so sacrificial, so amazing like that. But no, he survived, and now he runs supposedly like the 5th level of Impel Down. As much as I want to understand why Oda does this, by not having these characters die that have been built up to die and come back, it really makes it hard to care about these moments where characters supposedly die because they constantly keep coming back. Another huge example, of course, is Sabo. So Sabo is a bit of a different example because we were anticipating Sabo's return for a long time. It was a character that we desperately really wanted to be alive and revealed in the story. But of course, Oda had treated it like he had died. So the way in which he did so was saying that Sabo had taken 2 cannonball shots to the face at point blank range. This was a child. He was a child with no special abilities or devil fruits whatsoever, and he took 2 cannonball-fired shots to the face. And he lived. It's hard to really wrap your head around seeing these other characters supposedly die when we have people in the story, such as children, who take cannonball shots to the face, multiple cannonball shots to the head, and live. What about when Law was fighting Doflamingo in Dressrosa and just took multiple gunshots? Okay, how about this one? What about Charlotte Moscato, who was one of the Big Mom pirates and had their soul ripped out of their body and left lifeless? They were alive. What about Pound, one of Big Mom's husbands, who supposedly got beheaded, but somehow in a cover page later on had managed to survive? Like, did that beheading, did that swipe from that sword to his head didn't happen? What is the explanation here? Like, what is happening? Like, why even show that? And then we have Kinemon's final stand against Kaido. So you have this epic conclusion where you have Kinemon stab Kaido's leg. And then you have Kaido drive a sword through his chest in a final ditch effort to take down Kaido. Now that is so epic. Honestly, Kinemon's character arc leading to that final stand against Kaido goes with everything he is as a swordsman. It goes with all of his morals. It goes with his determination. It goes with his motives. It just sums him up perfectly, and it was a badass ending to his story. Amazing. But he's somehow back. So understandably, with all these examples, plus many, many more that you guys can look online and find, it is crushing a lot of people's optimism, a lot of people's hopes, a lot of people's enthusiasm about characters in One Piece supposedly dying because they're going to be coming back to life anyway. Like, it's very, very hard to care about these characters in these dire situations when they're just going to come back anyway. They're not going to truly die. And with Oda having that quote that I mentioned at the start of the video saying that his characters do not die even when they're put in these dangerous, perilous positions, and how he doesn't want to bring characters back to life, states to me that once again, if a character is not seen to be dead and buried, then there is a door open for them to come back. That's how Oda has made his characters in this world of One Piece. They are just able to come back. Who's to say that someone like Rocksteady Xebec is actually dead? Because we actually haven't seen that he has truly died. We have seen from accounts with the Gorosei, from accounts with the world government, from other pirates that he's supposedly dead. But we don't have any sort of real confirmation that he is. So he could most likely just come back. The way in which Oda has created this whole bubble of characters coming back from the dead from these ridiculous situations is like saying that Gold Roger could be potentially alive after being skewered and executed in front of everyone. Like, these characters are getting shot in the face, they're getting shot all over, they're getting blown up with bombs point blank range, they're getting supposedly beheaded. It is honestly, like, wild. It sucks too because when these characters that I care about are put in these dangerous situations, I want to care about them. I really want to just root for them, and if they're about to die and if they take massive damage, I want to be like, oh my god, these characters are in danger. I care about them. But they just keep coming back. So you're telling me that Sabo, a child, could survive getting shot twice in the face with a cannonball, but Kuina, a child, could die falling down the stairs. I'm going to be wrapping up here because I'm just chatting in circles here, but you guys get my point. You guys understand where Oda is coming from. I've given examples of why characters should have died, and it's all up to you, honestly, to go from here. Like, you can give me your thoughts in the comments section, but from now on, just bear in mind, I know it sucks, but just bear in mind that when characters are put in these situations and have supposedly died, that just bear in mind that they can just come back because this is how Oda makes his characters in the story. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Take care, and I'll see you all on the next one.